Welcome everyone to the, I think, third or fourth breakfast brief. It may be breakfast in your part of the world or it might be dinner, but we're excited to have you all here to talk on the phone and over the video conference with Zhao about the China program. And I'm going to just to give you a little bit of a sense of how this works. I'm going to do a brief introduction. Zhao will do about 15 or 20 minutes of presentation on what's going on in China and what the latest developments in the program are. And then we'll do questions and answers. And just to remind you, we'll try to do these about once a month. And the real purpose is to make sure that everybody understands and is able to learn from the work that each of us are doing across the region. That's the primary purpose, so we can, what they call, share and reapply the lessons that we're learning. And then the second point is to make sure that we're able to all speak about the great work that's happening around the region in order to raise more resources to get that work done. So to that end, we're recording all of these talks, and both video and audio, and hope that people will use them for donors, for public presentations, and the like. And we also encourage you to bring some questions to the table as well. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me just start by introducing Zhao and giving you a little bit of an update on our China program from my perspective, and then Zhao will take it off. So Zhao has been with the Nature Conservancy for 10 years. He worked for a number of years before that at the Ministry of Science and Technology. He came to the China program starting in Beijing to work on the very famous and very successful China Blueprint project, which lasted for about 5 or 6 years as the China program built the blueprint for China's natural areas under the Convention on Biological Diversity. That was a really groundbreaking project for the China team. After that, he worked for the government relations staff and directed our government relations work. And then most recently, he spent 6 months as the China Fellow in the Worldwide Office, manning the China desk. And he's now the Deputy Director of the China Program, covering the strategic development, philanthropy, and marketing, as well as new areas development of the conservation side. Most importantly, though, I think I probably missed out, was Zhao spent several years starting the Sichuan and the Land Trust project, which is a really groundbreaking project that the China program took on about 5 years ago. And Zhao moved to Sichuan, to the middle of panda habitat in northern Sichuan on the Gansu border, and started up really what is a very innovative and remarkable program, which has led to a number of other great developments around China on bringing the energy of the private sector towards conservation. So that was, I think, a really key breakthrough for Zhao, and I was excited to be, when I was working here in China, to be supporting him and supporting the China team on that great work. One of the consequences of that work is that idea, the private land reserve or land trust reserves, has really taken off. We've created another NGO, the Yuan Foundation, which is very specifically designed and engineered towards propagating and scaling up that model across China, and is also interested in land trusts around the world. So that's very exciting. One of the downsides of having that great success, of course, is that a number of our great leaders in the last 15 years in the China program have moved on to work in the Yuan organization. But fortunately, we're very close to them. We helped to create, we basically did all the legal work and helped to create the Yuan Foundation, and then all of the staff from the Yuan Foundation are former TNC staff. So the partnership is strong and robust. And we are excited about the work that they're doing, and we, in the meantime, are going to we're in the middle of a search for Sean's replacement as the CEO of the China program. In the final stages, we have a couple of finalists who are now interviewing with Mark Tersteck and Jack Ma, and as soon as that happens, we will make a decision on that new CEO hire, which is very exciting. So that's my update. A little bit longer than perhaps I wanted to go, but I want to make sure that Zhao has a little context to talk from. So Zhao, if you'll go ahead and do maybe 15 or 20 minutes of presentation, then we can have some questions, and I can have some questions. I think we'll have some good questions from the audience. All right, thank you, Zhao. And hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think good. So would you please help to set up the presentation? Open that. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate your time to join my brief introduction about the TNC China program. So I just give you overall picture. We've been working in China for 17 years. Since 1998, we started up our project in Yunnan province, which is most biodiversity-richness areas in the world. So we set up 4 years later. We set up our Beijing office. Start up with our national conservation agenda. So in 2010, we're working with the central government. Just Zhao just mentioned, we work with the Ministry of Environmental Protection to produce the China's conservation blueprint. Our major milestone. The result has been adopted by the State Council. So now it's 2015. We have around 60 staff now, and 5 offices, and over $10 million annual budget. So this map shows where we are. You can see that China is a big country. So geographically, we're working heavily on the southwest of China and Beijing, and now we a little bit expand our project areas in the east of China in Shanghai. So in terms of the China program, we pretty much focus on the 3 priority areas: land conservation, fresh water, and climate change. So just to give you an overall picture. Until now, Chinese government already established over 2,600 preserves all over China, which cover 15% of the total territory. But the issue is that most of them is a paper preserve. It's lack of money, lack of capacity. So all preserve is managed by the government. So we don't think the single model can fix all the problems. So our approach is to introduce the new model to China to fix the gap and improve the system. So about 10 years ago, we introduced the national park. For example, we introduced a national park to Yunnan and introduced the land trust in Sichuan 5 years ago, and 3 years ago we introduced the restoration work in Inner Mongolia. For example, in Yunnan, 10 years ago, we were working with the provincial government to establish the very first national park in Yunnan, and we helped them to develop the standards and methods to guide how to develop and manage the national park in China. So it's a tough job, but fortunately, last year, the central government took over this idea, and they set up a goal to achieve, to establish the national level park system in the next 3 years. So the pretty fast agenda, we are going to continue to work with them to improve and to make the goal happen. And about 5 years ago, just Charles mentioned, we established our first park preserve in China, in Sichuan, which is a panda area. I used to work for this preserve for 3 years. And I still remember when I first come there, go
go that place, and Zhao and I, we are on the way, go back to, Beijing. It's in the valley. We have a lot of conversations about our dream to have land trust that implemented in China. It's really TNC expertise. So we take several years to do that, and so far it looks very good, and the day-to-day management is very good, and the financial becomes sustainable gradually now. So it's a very good example now. So we are going to still continue to work with our partners like Taobao and like other domestic foundations to establish 10 land trust reserves in the next 3 to 5 years. So this map you can see in the last year we signed 4 new agreements for establish the new land trust, and in total now we have 5 land trust reserves now in operation. And last model is Inner Mongolia. It's a restoration model. Inner Mongolia, maybe you don't know, it's nearby with the Mongolia country, and it's northern of China. It's dry and semi-dry land, but the climate change and also the overuse of the land is degraded. So 3 years ago, we worked with the local partner to implement a comprehensive restoration plan to restore the ecosystem service functions in that degraded land area. Now you can see, when you go to the site, you can see the trees back, the grass is back, and even small animals is back. So ecologically, the function is back. So now we are considering to study a further model, how to attract the community, get involved, and benefit from the ecosystem service. So this model is still under the development and research. So hopefully we can find a new model in the future, because we have a great potential. Degraded land is huge in northern of China. So we're looking forward to have a new model very soon. So the second priority is climate change. We also work in 3 areas. Adaptation. We use our science tools to predict how the climate change will impact the ecosystem. So we understand the impact and to make the strategies to adapt the change. And also we work with the forest administration to develop the forest carbon accounting, which is a tool to measure the carbon emissions. So which will be very helpful to get the carbon emission trading system being transparency. And also we are the top 1 forest carbon project developer in China. So we're not just using simply to plant trees. We use the CCB standard, which is a global volunteer standard of high level tree planting standard. So it's multi-benefit standard, benefits for climate, community, and biodiversity. So in the past 10 years, we successfully developed over 10 CCD forest carbon projects, and we restored over 10,000 hectares degraded land to be forest, and which means over 24 million trees and equals over 2.2 million CO2 emissions. So this map is show where the project is. Most of them is in southwest of China, which is to restore the habitat of either panda habitat and the golden monkey habitat. And also we do the restoration work in Inner Mongolia, which is grassland. So we introduce forest carbon method to the north of China. For the freshwater, we pretty much focus on hydropower. Just give you a background that in China, over 90,000 dams building on the river. So it's a significant change in the hydrology, of course, the biodiversity. So this is a serious issue. In the past 8 years, we focus our dam issues, hydropower issues in Yangtze River. We build a partnership with the hydropower company like Three Gorges. So these are areas we are working with. We promote the environmental flow to working with them to study how to implement the environmental flow, how to balance the environmental needs and the generate power, and also to reduce the flood risk. So we have brilliant idea to establish a sustainable hydropower fund. But it's, we push this idea for several reasons, but it is hard, but we still have, confidence to continually engage with governments, educate them, to work with them to implement this idea. So this year, the Global Freshwater Team helped us to initial the Sustainable Hydropower Center in China. So based on our partnership with Chinese hydropower companies, both to influence them both in China and overseas. We want to work with them to apply more sustainable way to build the dam. So this is a long way to go, but we have confidence to have some results. So we have several new areas to exploring, like marine. We already initial our first marine project in southern of China, is Hainan Island. It will be the coral reef restoration. So we got very strong support from global marine team. And also we consider to initiate our urban project. So we already have several round conversation with global urban strategy team. And also we work with Africa team on ivory issues. China is the huge consumption market in China on ivory. So we have a strong China board. They are high-end market. They are in the high-end market. So we want to use their influence to impact the people, to inspire people, not buying ivory. And also we want to consider to work with the agriculture issues. We just start out the ideas, so we need more time to catch up the agriculture is global. In China, it's one of very important chain of global trade. So we wanted to we consider to work with both global agriculture teams to think about how to use environmental friendly agriculture approach and how to influence Chinese government to change some policy to be more responsible as a bag, as a very big bag. So yeah, this is the overall brief. So welcome any questions.